nicer to me. So this month, think red. So any foods that are red, sauces, beans, red lentils, spaghetti, and with spaghetti, bring the pasta. With the soups, maybe bring, something, a can of something to eat with it, some applesauce. So the food sharing basket is outside. I was going to put this on, but my compatriot got there before me, so it looks really pretty with hearts right now. We'll take it every week to the Door of Life food barrel, food pantry, and so we hope we can see it filled up during this month of February, and then look forward to March. And if you have any ideas for March, let Cindy or I know. And I just wanted to say, I was getting my throat lozenge ready, and I looked down and it says on the wrapping, nothing you can't handle. March forward. So there you go. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, Maury Ash. I'm here to invite everyone, if you want, to join us with ARP and the free tax service that's available in Sister Bay at the fire station and at the library in Egg Harbor. We do it all for free. It's easy. You'll get your money back quickly. Typically, you drop off your information and you pick it up your return a week later. If you're interested, you can make an appointment. We're taking appointments through the end of March, and the phone numbers have been in the Pulse, both the printed and the one online. So I hope to see you there.
It is on the back of your service, but I did want to reiterate that this Wednesday, the Dickinson Poetry Series is back to the second Wednesday of the month. And we have a double header this time. We have Annette Gronseth and Tori Wellhouse. And they are both fabulous, much published poets. So if you can, please join us. It will be a memorable evening.
Thank you. And I would ask Carol Soper, longtime member Carol Soper, to light our chalice as I say these words. These words are from the Reverend Cynthia Landrum. For the wonder and inspiration we seek from sun and stars and all the lights of the heavens, we light this chalice. Please stand as you are able to sing hymn number 159. This is my song. And then please stay standing.
You forgot the soloist.
My apologies. Please sit down. The soloist was tucked in after I had done my thing. And so I do not want to miss her. Welcome.
You
free the dead till elect, oh, free the dead from their eternal bands. Till the snakes drop, 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 drop from her head, and the wind from out her hands. Music, music for a while, shall all your cares be gone? Shalom, 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 your cares be gone. Shalom, all, shalom, all, shalom, your cares be gone.
Thank you so much. And now, please stand. We will sing hymn number 159, This Is My Song, and then please stay standing for the unison affirmation and doxology. This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands so far and wide. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my holy shrine. What other hearts in other lands are beating with hopes and dreams as true and high as mine? My country's skies are bluer than the ocean, and sunlight beams on clover leaf and pine. What other lands have sunlight too and clover, and skies are everywhere as blue as mine? Oh, hear my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for their land and for mine. It's okay. From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill on earth be sung, in every land by every tongue. We gather together to seek knowledge and wisdom, to explore freely the vast reaches of mind and spirit, to celebrate within a caring community those truths, ancient and modern, which give meaning and direction to our lives. Thank you. And now, let's share our personal joys and concerns. That part of our service that reminds us to put love in the center of everything we do. Together we share happiness so that we may rejoice with you, and sorrow because together we may lessen your burden. Do we have any joys and concerns today? Again, Bruce has the mic.
Oops. Lindley's. I'm not sure if this is a joy or a concern. But today, according to my Aldo Leopold Society phonology calendar, somewhere in Wisconsin, the turkey vultures are returning.
Oh.
144 years ago today, Emma Tuft was born.
Oh, happy birthday, Emma.
And here's the weekly Smythe report, happier than usual. Both Dick and Mary are now in an independent apartment, but in a community living arrangement. And Mary is down the hall from rehab, physical therapy, and all those kinds of services are available to her. She is recovering.
Oh, wow. Wow. Excellent news. Anyone else?
This is a report not on Carol, but on Joy. On February 23rd, our daughter Kate will be here at the Crest doing a concert for the Peninsula Music Festival.
Oh, wonderful.
So you all might, she plays here whenever she comes. And you all might want to keep that date in mind. I think the tickets are reserved, so you have to buy a ticket in advance, but that's the Sunday, the 23rd of February.
Thank you. She's a beautiful pianist. Okay, thank you very much. And it is my joy to introduce our wandering nature man. He has been here often, but Dale Goodner continues to bring us amazement about our wonderful world around us. And today will be no different as he challenges us to, pardon me? Yes, it's coming. To continue to wander and to continue to wonder in our beautiful world. So, Dale, it's always a pleasure to have you with us. It is now time for our offering, contributing as we can to sustain our fellowship and the works that we believe in. Thank you, as always, for your generosity. You may also donate online at uufdc.org if that makes it more easier for you. Please take a moment of quiet to center yourselves so that you might be open to the message that Dale has prepared for us. Our reading today is a bit of a different take on a familiar story, The Frog Prince. There once was a little girl who was wandering beside a creek when she happened to see a frog that looked very sad. I wonder why that frog is so sad, she asked herself. Then she remembered a story once told by her mother about how a girl had kissed a frog and how the frog had magically turned into a handsome prince. Maybe that is why the frog is so sad. No one will kiss it so that it can become a prince. She decided that she would give the frog a kiss herself. But nothing happened. There was still just a frog sitting in her hand. She set the frog back on the ground and said, "Poor froggy, I'm sorry I couldn't turn you into a handsome prince." The frog replied, "Oh, but you have done something far better. You have made me a happier frog." And the frog hopped off with a great big smile on his face. So, if you're wandering through the woods one day and happen to see a little girl picking up frogs and kissing them, don't stop her. She knows what she is doing. Frogs need love too, you know. You may not be able to see the frog change on the outside, but believe me, a little love and attention makes everyone feel like royalty on the inside. Dale?
Thank you, Cindy, especially for the frog story. Forgot my cane.
Yes.
Hey, I got up here without raising cane. Ooh. Good morning. So great to see all you folks, especially on a day when it's a little slick out there. Down in Algoma, we got how much snow? Over 9 inches. Guess what we were doing last night? Well, wandering. Richard Louv, I'm sure many of you are familiar with Richard. He wrote Last Child in the Woods. He talked about nature deficit disorder. He has a quote that I thought was interesting. Quote, "All spiritual life begins with a sense of wonder, and nature is a window into that wonder." Unquote. To this, I would only add, wandering opens the windows. I have a little experience with this. In 1950, my mother and my grandmother were working around the yard at her cabin, and I was just a little toddler wandering around. And I did, as a typical little kid, I disappeared. And my mother told me about this. I was gone with my grandmother's old and half-blind dog, and I was wandering northeastward along Lake Michigan. My mother said that she was so terrified at the thought of finding my little blue babushka floating in the lake, she sent Grandma looking for me. Well, I'll tell you, we were Lutherans, so eventually I learned that even Jesus wandered away. He spent 40 days and 40 nights in the desert, wandering and fasting This gave rise to Lent and is observed for 40 days from Ash Wednesday up until Easter. Well, this business of giving up something for Lent never had any traction with me. But the wandering part, that's something I could do. The woods is home to a plethora of critters and plants. And the more you look, the more you see. And you always find something that's a mystery. Mom and Grandma taught me a few names: columbine, trillium, elderberry, chokecherry, as well as porcupine, pine snake, leopard frog. By the way, the so-called pine snake is actually a fox snake, in case any of you would like to Google it. Once, I found the extraordinarily beautiful red, white, and black milk snake. I've only seen one. They are native in the Dora Peninsula, but I can tell you, there are not very many of them out there. What a beautiful critter. Looking back, I suspect that a virulent virus was somewhat responsible for my growing interest in biology. Polio was striking children in the summer. So, my mother invented social distancing in 1953. When Green Bay schools went on summer break, she took us kids often to our grandmother's cottage, where I was able to perfect the art of wandering. As a teenager, when there was a cold, foggy drizzle coming off of Lake Michigan, I knew there would be very few people out. So I would wander up northeast again toward Cave Point. There was a special tree up there. It was my tree. It was a gnarly old white cedar growing on layered dolomite. Sitting under this tree, I watched the waves rolling in from fog to lap up against the rocks. The only sounds were water and gentle rain settling into the forest. Since those halcyon days, I've learned that some of these cedars, which grow in this rugged Niagara dolomite, truly are special. Well over 1,000 years old, some of them, 1,400 years old. Imagine that for a relatively small cedar tree. This is, I'm beginning now to understand words such as sacred. Carl Sagan pointed out that we have a lot in common with trees. Sylvan Runkle, he's in Iowa. Isn't that a great name? He's a naturalist. His name was Sylvan. He was an author, a naturalist, and a scientist, and a World War II veteran, and a remarkable tour guide. Sylvan, by the way, when Normandy happened, the invasion on D-Day, you remember that you hear about these glider planes that carried troops back behind the lines in the dark and dropped them in fields? Sylvan was one of those pilots. Well, he took a bunch of us conference attendees on a hike and focused on chemistry. He pointed out that plant chlorophyll and animal hemoglobin share a striking similarity. Both are based on what's known as a porphyrin ring structure. This is comprised of a complex circular molecules. Each hemoglobin molecule contains iron atoms at the center of the ring, while each chlorophyll molecule contains magnesium atom at this center of this ring. This hints at common ancestry. We do have a lot in common with plants. The growing comprehension of our kindred connections to other species allows us to gaze into the immense depth of time and begin to appreciate that we are an integral part of this amazing drama, the evolution of life. Carl Sagan also said that young children are all scientists. The Bright Horizons Foundation puts it well, quote, "The natural world is a giant open-ended learning laboratory. Children are innate scientists and love to experience the sights, scents, sounds, and textures of the outdoors. Nature provides countless opportunities for discovery, creativity, problem solving, and STEM education." Let's see, STEM education. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. See, I can remember something. Not much. Certainly, Whitefish Dunes has long been inspirational. My sisters and brothers all have an interest in nature. My older brother became a paleontologist with a career at Mobil Oil Corporation. But I went for the big bucks. I became an interpretive naturalist. Because of growing up with two older brothers, my sister, who is here, became a psychiatric nurse.
So much experience.
My dad introduced us to the diversity of America's natural areas. He was a native of Washington. In order to stay connected with relatives throughout the West Coast, every couple of years he took us on road trips from Wisconsin. We camped along the way, staying in national and state parks and eating Coleman Cooler cuisine. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this. Bologna, sandwich spread, and Wonder Bread makes you hungry just thinking about it. At Waysides, we never ate at a restaurant in all those years we did this. Never stayed in a motel. What an amazing introduction, though, to America the Beautiful. In the summer of 1956, we were camping at Badlands in South Dakota. And there was a campfire program that evening, so my dad took us over there. The ranger had us singing along with him, and then he showed us how to locate several constellations. His powerful flashlight beam through wispy campfire smoke made a 40-foot pointer so we could clearly see what he was pointing at. The Big Dipper, the Little Dipper, the North Star, and others. This was 70 years ago, and I can still locate the North Star. And even know the song. You guys ready for this? Hail, hail, the gang's all here. Gather around the campfire again. Isn't that cool? Wandering is a simple journey around your yard or within your surroundings. Bailey's Harbor is just a hoot and a holler from Grandma's cottage at Whitefish Dunes. So the natural area over there, the Ridges, was established in 1937. And if I have this correct, it was the first land trust property in Wisconsin. Is that correct? That's what I thought. When I went there in the 60s, Roy Lucas was the naturalist and would lead hikes along those sandy ridges that parallel the lakeshore. Occasionally, I tagged along as he identified plants and birds. What made his tours special were his stories about why specific plants were particularly interesting or important or unique. Charlotte, I think you know a thing or two about that. For example, he identified reedgrass, and he pointed out that this was the plant in which Moses was hidden from the Pharaoh to escape that dictum that went out that all Hebrew children were to be killed, male children were to be killed. Moses' sister Miriam was to watch over him just in case something went wrong. Without this plant, it's likely Moses would have been found and killed. Roy also did indoor programs. Using visual and auditory aids, he had recorded one of my favorite bird songs, identifying it as a wood thrush, Not only did we learn the name of this bird whose ethereal song would echo through woodland quiet, but then he played it at reduced speed. The bird sounded like two flutes harmonizing with each other. It was haunting and beautiful. Birds have something called a syrinx, not a larynx. They can make two sounds at the same time. He put words to some of the bird songs as a memory technique. For example, the white-throated sparrow would say, "Old sweet Canada, Canada, Canada." If you listen for that song, that's the white-throat. I was corrected once. I was told that he's actually saying, "Poor Sam, Peabody, Peabody, Peabody." But they didn't know. Chestnut-sided warbler says, "Very, very pleased to meet you." So, that makes you feel good about being out in the woods. Roy was able to mix education with fun. He may not have known it, but he was serving as a mentor. In 1975, I was a part-time naturalist at the Green Bay Wildlife Sanctuary. When I pointed out reedgrass, I also mentioned the baby Moses. I told Roy that I plagiarized. I stole his line. And he said, "That's okay, I stole it too." But if my tour group seemed ready for it, I'd point out without this plant, there would be no Moses, no stone tablets, no 10 Commandments. Think about it. People would be out stealing things, killing each other, committing adultery. Well, in late fall 1975, there was an opening for a full-time naturalist in Peoria, Illinois. I got that job feeling as if I just won the lottery. After the perfect job, I might add. What a beautiful area, right along the Illinois River, halfway from, I made the mistake when they first talked to me about the job opening in Peoria. I said, "Is that a suburb of Chicago?" You do not say that in Peoria. Halfway between Chicago and St. Louis. After 3.5 decades in central Illinois, I retired. Mary and I relocated back to Wisconsin, landing in Algoma. We were meeting friends near Glidden Lodge when I noticed an older gentleman, might have been 70, setting up a tripod and camera to photograph the full moon rising and reflecting on the water off Whitefish Point. I approached him and I said, "Excuse me, are you Roy Lucas?" It was Roy. Wandering can lead to unexpected discoveries. As UUs from Peoria, we were involved in that church for some 30 years. We visited UUFDC. Well, the first people we met, literally the first two people we walked through the door, it was Roy and Charlotte Lucas. So we knew we were in the right place. Travel and tourism are part of enhanced wandering. The word tourism comes from an old Saxon term, torn. It means, roughly translated, a departure from with intention of returning. It is generally a limited time commitment with modest planning. Travail, however, travel, it comes from that French term meaning travail, implies work, labor, toil, effort. Travel differs markedly from everyday life and describes our vacations better than touring. Included were varying degrees of preparation, physical training, repair of equipment, acquiring permits, purchasing of maps, field guides, planning menus, first aid, water, purification, and so on. This got us into advanced wandering. It broadened our appreciation of America the Beautiful, all the way from down low to up high, and in between. While wandering with backpacks in the San Juan Mountains in southwest Colorado, we camped at Timberline among a couple of small evergreens after a freeze-dried supper. I sat on a rocky overlook and scoped the valley below with binoculars, no trace of fellow humans at all. There was a deer walking up the trail, so I watched him. And he walked up to an opening among a few trees, and a little pika was sitting there, and it peeped at him. The deer jumped straight up, spun around, farted loudly, returning to look toward the pika from a crouching position. And the pika peeped again. Again, the deer spun around and jumped up. These two unrelated species were simply expressing the joy of living as if nobody was watching. In biology, I had learned about the anthropomorphic fallacy. You don't assign human traits to other species, right? Such as joy or love to mere critters. But the deer and the pika embody an important lesson in humility. Critters were here first. It's we who are like them. Another vacation took us to West Texas. The Rio Grande River and Big Bend National Park carried us along silently by canoe into a huge canyon. Through a narrow gateway, 1,000-foot cliffs on both sides. We were now committed. It was an incredible feeling, like passing a point of no return. It took 4 days to get through this beautiful canyon. Every turn, the river was a new vista. We saw the brilliant vermilion flycatchers, and we heard that the descending cries of canyon wrens echoing from adjacent rocks. And it echoes. Beautiful. It's like the voice of these canyons. On the fourth day, we emerged into wide open desert. But what a place. A couple of years later, we changed scenery. We were traveling to the Jim Bridger Wilderness in Wyoming's Wind River Range. Mary and I, along with her sister Carol, spent a week hiking and exploring this incredible landscape. From our base camp, we climbed to the summit of the third highest mountain in Wyoming, Fremont Peak. From that vantage point, we looked eye to eye at the iconic Grand Teton, nearly 100 miles to the northwest. Then a thunderstorm passed far beneath us. We peered down at lightning. The thunder far below reverberated from surrounding lower mountains. As Joni Mitchell said, we looked at clouds from both sides now. What an experience. Maybe later on you can talk to Mary about it. She'll tell you how to get up to the top of that thing. She was our leader up there. Well, back near our base camp, the alpine quiet was punctuated only by crystal clear water trickling, dancing, and bubbling over smooth granite. That's a sure sign that it was glacially formed. And by the occasional melodic songs of white-crowned sparrows and the descending calls of the black rosy finch. Well, we're still wandering, but have taken up glamping. Any glampers here? It's wimpy camping. But hey, it's camping, maybe. We were at Two Medicine Campground in Glacier National Park that evening. A ranger was giving a campfire program about mountain goats. Sounded interesting. And he did something I have never seen a ranger do. He started off his talk by taking off his clothes. Right there in front of everybody. He stripped down to a white union suit, which he embellished by putting on a white hood adorned with black horns. He became a mountain goat and told about his adaptations to life amid these steep, craggy rocks. You've been up to Glacier, you know there's some big, steep, craggy rocks. These critters live up there. It's amazing. It is. He even acted out some of the goat's maneuvers. You know, if you think about it, if you're a mountain goat, how do you turn around when you run into a dead end? Well, he showed us how. It was a perfect mix of information, inspiration, and entertainment. People in the audience, regardless of their age, enjoyed a unique evening of fun learning. I'm sure they will remember mountain goats for a very, very long time and understand why these sacred places we call parks are so very crucial for our fellow critters, kindred critters, but also certainly for us. Visitor surveys consistently show that interactions with staff, ranger talks, naturalist programs, and guided tours are among the most important and memorable highlights of park visits. Continue to explore on your own, but also take advantage of programs as we did. You never know where you might meet a Roy Lucas or a Sylvan Runkle. They will expand your horizons. Remember Richard Louve's words of wisdom. All spiritual life begins with a sense of wonder. Maintain that sense of wonder wherever you explore. Door Peninsula, Wisconsin's many parks, or America's best idea, our national parks. Happy trails. I'll try not to fall on you. Thank you, Sydney.
Thanks, Dale. Thank you, Dale. And thank you, John. And thank you, Maria Sana. Please join us in the gathering room for conversation and coffee. And then in about 15 minutes, we will ring the chimes so that you can come back and share some stories with Dale. Please join together in our final hymn. Stand as you are able to sing the Happy Wanderer. It is in an insert. And I had the joy of listening to John practice as I walked in this morning, and I forget how much fun this song is. So here we go.
Okay, a quick announcement on it so that you understand what the insert means. We've got the verse, we've got the chorus, and at the last line of the chorus is the last line of the verse. So when you get to the second verse, where it says chorus, go back up to the Val de Re, Val de Ra, and then sing the last line. Come join my happy song. Okay? All right, here we go. I love to go wandering along the mountain track. And as I go, I love to sing my knapsack on my back. Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, my knapsack on my back. I love to wander by the stream that dances in the sun. So joyously it calls to me, come join my happy song. Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, come join my happy song. I wave my hat to all I meet, and they wave back to me. And blackbirds call so loud and sweet from every greenwood tree. Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, Valderie, Valdera, until the day I die. Oh, may I always laugh and sing beneath God's clear blue sky. Valderie, Valderop, Valderie, Valderop, Valderie, Valderop, beneath God's clear blue sky. Thank you.
As we close our service, I'll again ask Carol to extinguish our chalice this time. These words are from the Reverend Cheryl Block. As we go forward into this frightening, exhilarating, confusing, miraculous world, may we offer our comfort to the afflicted, our love to those who are lonely, and our wish for all to be safe.